flag, I'd like to have a moment of silence for a former chairman who was here for, I guess, 10 years, almost 10 years, from 1994 to 2002, Fred Nichols. I think it's appropriate that we recognize one of our former that served for such a long period of time. So I would just ask that you, in your own way, acknowledge. Okay, pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So excited. You know why?
Lisa, would you please read the opening statement and call the roll?
This is to advise the general public and to instruct them to record in minutes that in compliance with the Senator Byron and Bear Open Public Meetings Act, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority set its annual meeting scheduled for August 2016 and July 2017, setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting to the Secretary of State's office in Trenton, New Jersey, and the office of the Clerk of Atlantic City. The notice was published in the Press of Atlantic City, the Camden Courier Post, and the New York Star Ledger on August 1st, 2016 and August 2nd, 2016. Members of the press will be permitted to take photographs at today's meeting, providing that it is done in a manner which is not distracting to the authority nor interferes with the public's right to observe the meeting. Any member of the public who wishes to address the authority regarding items to be presented to the board today will be given the opportunity to do so. Comments regarding any issues that do not appear on today's agenda will be taken during the public comment portion at the end of the meeting. We ask that members of the public who address the board stand and state their name and address for the record each time they speak on an issue. It is also requested that comments be limited to 3 minutes per issue. Deborah DiLorenzo.
Present.
Ed Gantz.
Here.
Mark Antonio.
Here.
Mayor Don Guardian.
Here.
Michael Manley.
Here.
Gary Hill.
Here.
Howard Kyle.
Here.
Matt Levinson.
Here.
William Mullen.
Here.
Kevin Ortsman.
Here.
Christopher Carino. Charles Richmond.
Paul Everson on behalf of the director.
Boyd Scudder.
Bob Shaughnessy on behalf of the State Treasurer.
Frank Spencer. Richard Olson.
Here.
Chairman Robert Mulcahy.
Here. Thank you, Lisa. Next, I would ask for a ratification of the minutes of the May 16th board meeting, understanding that Bob Shaughnessy was not here and will abstain from voting on it. You've all received them in the mail, or does anybody have any changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Been moved by Mr. Tolson. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the mayor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. I got you.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have the executive director's report. Chris, give us some good news.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a whole lot to report today, actually, but try to keep things meeting moving. I just wanted to highlight one upcoming event. We have a pretty large show coming into the convention center next week. It's actually June 27th and 28th, so it's a big business for us. It's the Police Security Expo is coming, 7,000 expected attendees. And this is the industry's longest running and most well-known product-based showcase. Pretty big event.
Okay. We have several items on the agenda today, some of which I think you're going to be excited about. Certainly we are. First, we have a consent agenda of 7 items that relate to issues that are routine and for the board. I would accept it.
I have to excuse myself from the first one. Number 1.
Okay.
Do I need to leave the room?
No. Okay, it was just, we'll have to do a consent. You'll just recuse yourself without consent. Okay. Someone want to move the consent agenda?
Move. Second.
Moved, seconded by Mr. Spencer. Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion?
I'll need the resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority awarding contracts for concrete services on an as-needed basis through June 30th, 2019 to Big Pavers Hardscaping LLC and Medio Construction Company Incorporated for various public improvement projects affecting public safety and health in the Atlantic City Tourism District, and resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving the award of a professional service agreement to Positive Impact Incorporated to provide advisory services to Convention Center Division Management and Operation, Marketing and Promotions, on an as-needed basis through July 31st, 2019, with an aggregate spending authorization not to exceed $310,000. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving Spectra Venue Management's award of a contract to Thomas United Incorporated to purchase and install commercial kitchen equipment and smallwares for the Atlantic City Convention Center. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving Spectra Venue Management's award of professional services agreements for environmental consulting services at Boardwalk Hall and the Atlantic City Convention Center to McCade Environmental Services LLC and Environmental Design Incorporated for a 2-year period on an as-needed basis. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving the award of a professional services agreement to J Strategies LLC to provide communications consulting services on an as-needed basis through June 30th, 2019, with an aggregate spending limit not to exceed $150,000. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority extending as-needed real estate appraisal services professional service agreement with J. McHale Associates Incorporated through July 31st, 2018. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a 1-year extension of the designation of special legal counsel through July 31st, 2018.
Anybody else feel they have to recuse themselves because of the items that were listed? If not, Chris, would you give a brief description? These are all extensions, really, of services.
All procurements, that's correct, Mr. Chairman. Concrete, so I'll just give a quick sentence about each one. Concrete services, these are needed for primarily for maintenance and repair of sidewalks and tree pits in the tourism district. The Convention Center Division Advisory Services contract is for advisory services for all facility matters at both Boardwalk Hall and the Convention Center, including our Spectra contract. That would include contract evaluation and oversight, capital planning, development of incentive contracts, and attracting and evaluating events, among other things. The Atlantic City Convention Center kitchen equipment, an action item, is a contract for the replacement of kitchen equipment at the Convention Center. Also includes the engineering and installation of the equipment. Some of the equipment that we're replacing there is actually as old as the building. It's 20 years old. Environmental consulting services. This is a contract for environmental consulting work at both facilities, Boardwalk Hall and the Convention Center. Communications advisory services is for a communications consultant to assist with all of our communications responsibilities. That would be responses to media inquiries, coordination and interaction with our local and regional media outlets, management of our media relations staff, preparation of press releases and messaging and so forth. Appraisal services, we're just looking to extend our appraisal services agreement on an as-needed basis with J. McHale Associates. That one also includes a reduction in the spending cap. The cap is currently $75,000, and based on our spend rate, we're looking to reduce that to $40,000, which still has enough cushion that we're comfortable will not exceed that amount. And last but not least, special legal counsel. We had awarded 1-year contracts with 1-year options to Connell Foley, Doogie Hood, and Don Maluski, and Riker Danzig, Sheriff Highland Peretti last year. Those contracts expire July 31st, and we're looking to extend those at the same rates.
Mr. Chairman, before you take the vote, I think I should recuse myself as well. I missed one item in there that Brother Gant was kind enough to point out.
That's all right. Any other comments from board members? Any public comment?
Yes, one question.
Mr. Cheatham.
All these contracts issued on this list, are there local people, companies that is involved here with all these different contracts?
It depends who they are and which ones, and they've all been done by bid and advertised.
Just wondering.
Depends on which one it is. Other comments from the public? Hearing none, motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Moved.
It's been moved by Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Mullen. Any further discussion from board members? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record note that we have Mr. Spencer, Mr. Tolson recusing themselves from those items, from that vote. Back to the regular agenda. The next item on the agenda is the Absecon Lighthouse Project. It's a supplemental fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $100,000. An approval to amend the agreement with the Inlet Public-Private Association. Lisa, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a supplemental fund reservation in the amount not to exceed $100,000 from the Atlantic City Tourism District and Community Development Fund, and authorizing the negotiation and execution of an amendment to the agreement with Inlet Public-Private Association Incorporated, doing business as the Absecon Lighthouse, all in furtherance of the Absecon Lighthouse project.
Is there anybody that feels they got to recuse themselves on this issue? Okay. Chris, you want to give us a description of the action required?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The action before the board and the recommendation coming out of committee is authorization to extend our existing grant agreement with the Lighthouse and provide a supplemental fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for the next year. We have provided funding in the past for the Lighthouse. We had a grant that recently is about to expire that was approved in July of 2014, also for $100,000. The grant proceeds will help fund primarily off-season operations, but also a structural study and hopefully help with some capital. And for the record, Gene Mechanic from the Lighthouse is here if you'd like to ask.
Yeah, Gene appeared before the committee. We went through the request. It's become a year-round destination, and I think we have the third oldest lighthouse in the country. Is that correct?
It's the third tallest lighthouse in the country.
Third tallest lighthouse in
It's the oldest structure in Atlantic City.
Okay. So this is kind of unique. It's part of the landscape here. Any board discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to adopt.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. The next item on the agenda is the Atlantic City Demolition Project. This is authorization to fund demolition of certain properties outside of the tourism district. Lisa, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving an amendment to the intergovernmental agreement with the City of Atlantic City in furtherance of the Atlantic City demolition project.
Anybody have to recuse himself from this? Mayor? Chris, are we going to have a presentation or are we just going to?
There are some pictures that we were going to put up, Mr. Chairman. Basically, I'm just going to quick overview first before Lance goes through that.
Okay.
The city submitted a request to use CRDA funds for demolition purposes for 4 properties that are technically outside of the tourism district. The properties they've identified are, I don't want to say on the border, but very close, really steps away from the border of the tourism district and in very poor condition, as you're about to see, or as you can see now. The staff is recommending approval of the city's request, notwithstanding the fact that these are outside the tourism district, just to help move things forward.
Yeah, we've identified estimated cost of $135,000. We have the balance in demolition funds to cover this. And you have a recommendation from the staff. Any further board discussion?
It is.
Mr. Cheatham, you're aware of this.
Yes, I'm aware of this, and it does my heart sad to see these things happen in our city that it could have been avoided. And I tried everything I could. I called called the city, I called this one and that one, and they did board it up every now and then when something happened, but, it's just a shame that we let our city just deteriorate right in front of you. And nothing nobody can do, they just ignore it. I don't know what else to say, because I watched it being demolished, being stripped. And we lived in that home for 50 years. And some of your finances helped to remodel it somewhat. It's on your records there.
Go ahead.
It's just a shame that we let our city go right in front of us without standing up for it. I stood up as long as I could, in the meantime going bankrupt at the same time. So I just think it's a shame. That's all I can say.
I think we all can understand that. The reason I did point it out was loyalty to you. And you've been one of the most interested citizens I'm sure we have in Atlantic City. But there is a certain amount of sadness and sentiment and emotion attached to this, and we appreciate what you do. Any other public comment?
I have just a statement. So, do we have a list of the property that we're looking at within the tourism district that we have issues with? I mean, we're still proceeding with that. I mean, listen, I understand these are eyesores, need to be taken care of, the city can't do it, so we're stepping in and doing it. But in the tourism district, Pacific Avenue or Atlantic Avenue, are issues that we see that are dilapidated buildings or road issues that we should step in, are we proceeding with those also?
We are. We are focusing on tourism district houses or structures to come down. These were very close to the borderline, and in a location that was really kind of critical to take those down.
Okay.
Wally Shields is here from the city's code enforcement. We do have a list of those. We will focus on the internal ones first, and then these are ones that really need to get taken down immediately.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Basically, Lance explained it very well. We are focusing on the tourism district. We have quite a list of tourism districts we're working on now. Of course, they're in, the money's are there set for that. One of them being Belfield Avenue. We're in negotiations to try to purchase some of the properties there to get more of those taken care of. It's one of our problem areas. We have several of them that are problem areas, and we are focusing on those. These properties here, the ones on Maryland Avenue, it's a shame, but two of them were severely damaged by fire. The other one has been broken into many times. And like I said, it's only really feet from the tourism district. It's right across the street from the Showboat's parking garage. The one on Providence Avenue is only feet from the tourism district. It's also very close to the Stockton project. It's been a problem with the police department, fire department, and everything else. So no one has responded to doing any work on them. We've had hearings on them, and they need to come down because they're really creating a problem for the whole area.
Any other comments from the public? Yes, sir.
Jeff Rosenberger, 600 Pacific Avenue. I noticed this past week that the church on the southwest corner of Pacific and Kentucky was removed. There were many historical sites within Atlantic City. That church has stood there since 1893, is absolutely unique in its architecture. There are many other sites in Atlantic City that I'd like to see the CRDA, since they seem in charge of everything, to inventory and do what they can to save instead of remove. I'd much rather see money going into the backbone of our city than into the Ferris wheel, that I don't know how you're going to get your money back at $15 a ticket. It's a lot of money to get back. However, Cape May, St. Pete's, Frankfurt, Germany, made a tourist destination by saving and rebuilding what was there. We must look at things differently. We need out-of-the-box ideas.
If I could, just to make clear, the church they're cleaning it up now, finishing it up. That was at the request of the owners of the property. That was not something that we had on the CRDA list, but just so
I
you
am
know
aware of that. The
that's...
church had no money to fund that. I happened to share those pictures on Facebook. It was shared not hundreds of times, many times. I had hundreds of comments, and there was not one comment in favor of removing that church. It's things like that that we must salvage and rebuild to rebuild our city.
Other comments from the public? Hearing none. Any comments from the board? Motion to adopt.
Move. Second.
Mr. Tolson, seconded by Mr. Mullen. Seeing no further comment or discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Yeah, the mayor was recused on the next item. Yes, Kevin has to recuse himself on the next item. Harrah's Atlantic City project, authorization to amend the project and donation credit project grant agreements. Lisa, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving an amendment to the Harrah's non-gaming amenities project and donation credit agreement dated September 8, 2016.
Okay, please let the record note that Mr. Orsman has recused himself. I understand there are two people here from Harrah's. Yes, sir. Would you identify? Yes, I recognize you.
For the record, Joe Doherty here on behalf of Harrah's. I have Joe Lodise here also, who's Vice President of Finance. The request is for an amendment to the funding agreement so that some of the leftover funds from the last project, together with a bunch more funds from Harrah's, can be put together and develop or redevelop one of the restaurants to a themed celebrity signature chef restaurant inside.
I want to commend you both because when we had the discussion about this, there was some question as to the proper use of the money, and you were willing to switch to do this so that there was never any question about it. So I commend you for that. Chris, anything you want to say about this?
Mr. Doherty stole my thunder, Mr. Chairman.
Can we know the restaurant name? Who is it? Is that private?
It hasn't been officially disclosed, but we are talking with one of our celebrity chefs that's in the Caesars brand. So it's very high profile.
I'm fine.
That's a big deal these days, these celebrity chefs. Any further comments from board members or any questions? Any public comment? Seeing none, motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Gantz, seconded by Mr. Hill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the Pacific Avenue Midtown Redevelopment Project. This is a supplemental fund reservation and authorization to negotiate and execute a funding agreement for certain costs associated with the relocation of Sister Jean's Kitchen. Lisa, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a supplemental fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $1 million from the Atlantic City Housing and Community Development Fund to relocate the operations of the Sister Jean's Kitchen in furtherance of the Pacific Avenue Midtown Redevelopment Project.
We had received a request from the Friends of Sister Jean's Kitchen, Jean Webster to be specific. Current locations in the Presbyterian Church. It's in disrepair. It's not ideal to the mission of the tourism district. And they've identified the former St. Monica's Parish on North Pennsylvania Avenue as a desirable location, has entered into an agreement of sale. The sale price is not part of the request to CRDA. So we are in a receipt of a letter from Reverend John Scotland requesting financial assistance in the amount of $1 million to fund commercial kitchen code upgrades, demolition of the rear building to allow for parking, loading, and oil storage tank remediation. And the approval would be based upon the conditions that we would, that I just mentioned, part of the deal. I think this is a significant positive move in the tourism district, and I ask if any board member has any comments or questions they wish to make about this.
We can have visuals if you just want to let Lance walk through real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Lance.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Chris. This is an aerial showing the current location here, which is just out the windows. We open up the curtains here. Here's where they're located now. What's proposed is right up the street on Pennsylvania Avenue with the former St. Monica's church there. They have adequate space. The building in the rear will be demolished, and the sanctuary will be converted into the kitchen area and eating area, and an administrative office will be converted from the existing rectory. One of the conditions we put on, that we're asking to put on this application, is to require the queuing to be inside. That's part of the problem we have with where they are right now. They queue up on Pacific Avenue. It's just not appropriate for that the tourism district.
Nor is it appropriate for them in bad weather.
Correct. That's true. So this would alleviate that issue, bring them all inside. It's large enough inside. The funds would be used to renovate that structure, lift that structure up so it's flood compliant, as well as put a new kitchen in there. The other condition would be that all of the kitchen equipment in the current structure be removed. So we don't have an issue with that use there coming back.
Board discussion. Rich.
One question that I didn't ask in committee, Mr. Chairman. There's three elements to this in regards to the work to be done with named contractors. Are these part of this decision awarding these contracts?
No,
So these are estimates, not necessarily the people that are going to do the work.
Right, we're not awarding contracts. The authority is not awarding contracts. Does that answer your question? Maybe I misunderstood your question.
It does, wasn't necessarily the answer I was looking for. The reason I ask, I mean, there's companies named here.
I'm sorry?
There's companies named here with prices attached. It suggests that
I believe they've already received quotes. I think, I'm not sure.
That's correct. Reverend Scotland's here if you have any questions for him. He's director of the Sister Jean's Kitchen.
That's just an estimate. We haven't, we will put it out for competitive bid.
Okay. Other questions from board members?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to comment that Sister Jean's has been providing a necessary service in Atlantic City for a very long time. This building they're in now is not structurally sound. They need to move out of that. I should also, for those of you that think this is simply a mission, it is not. The majority of people here are residents of Atlantic City that are housed but are poor, and that come to Sister Jean's for food 5 days a week. The location 2 blocks away will be closer to where people actually live. And there's any other entity looking to do anything with the former St. Monica's Church. I think this is an excellent social services for it. Keeps Sister Jean's alive, gives them a new facility. And I share with your concern that simply because you're looking for a free lunch, you shouldn't have to stand out in the cold or the heat. And so queuing is important parts that people accomplish.
I appreciate those comments, Mayor, and they certainly, look, all of this fits into trying to make Atlantic City better. And any other board comments?
Mr. Chairman, just one question.
Yes, Frank.
So the existing building, what's the future of that building?
The future of that building, and talking to the mayor, is bleak for a lot of reasons.
I mean, it's structurally not sound. I mean, Wally's here now, so I mean, you can ask him.
We haven't done a forensic survey of the property. I'm sure we will at some point in time. It has had issues over the years. It does have structural issues to it. How bad they are, I don't know. It would be extremely costly to probably rehab that building and make it into anything else at this point in time. So it's still a little early to say really how bad it is. Surely not, I have not declared it an unsafe structure or an imminent hazard at this point, but that doesn't mean those things aren't going to change. Anybody that's seen it knows that the roof's probably been leaking for quite a while. When you see the blue tarp that's been sitting on top of us, it's sandy, so it hasn't had any care since then. So it is getting in bad shape.
Tarp's gone too.
Yeah.
Tarp's not there, blew away.
I think, Frank, the answer probably is it's been held together by Band-Aids to come up with a solution.
Okay.
Other comments from commissioners? Public comment, Mr. Cheatham.
Well, And one gentleman had mentioned about the church on Kentucky and Pacific. Now we have another church that's on Pacific Avenue, which we're getting ready to demolish that. Now, I've watched all the churches disappear on Pacific Avenue. It's a total now, with the one you're talking about now, getting ready to, 8 different churches have been demolished off Pacific Avenue in the course of the 40 years that the casinos have been here. Now, I know we're saying, oh, this is progress, we gotta do something about Pacific Avenue. But to keep demolishing churches without trying to rehabilitate them, it's a shame, because a lot of history there. There was a cornerstone laid years ago, and I saw it laid with that particular church right there. And now it's getting ready to be demolished. Are we ever going to build our city back? Once churches start going, your town begins to die more and more.
Mr. Chairman, just to be clear, this action does not include the demolition of the church.
Well, demolition is right behind it, young man.
Just being...
With the man talking there, he's saying it's about ready to fall down. Come on, no. Let's be truthful. You know it's getting ready to be demolished. Because nobody don't want to spend no money for no church. That's the least thing on the agenda. But we need to start making it first on our agenda if we're going to survive as a civilization.
Look, Bill, I think here's the real issue with this. If there were a vibrant parish as they are, then these are things that would be done, but you can ask the Reverend. I mean, we see the diminishment in the attendance, and one of the other churches we were talking about had, what, 35 people left? I mean, this isn't gonna, you rebuild them and you don't have a vibrant parish, how are they gonna sustain themselves? I mean, this is an issue all over, it's not just here.
It's a sad issue.
It's sad, absolutely, I couldn't agree with you.
Sad issue, gentlemen.
I think it's important to note that CRDA does not own that church. So it's not an asset of the CRDA, it's not an asset of...
I don't think the CRDA is taking down the Kentucky Avenue Church either, that's not the CRDA.
No. So actually here, we're actually improving the conditions into which the kitchen operates. That's all. Any other public comment?
Here,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to springboard on Mr. Cheatham's comment. All of these were viable places to live prior to the establishment of casinos in Atlantic City and the decimation of the middle class and the chase of the people. St. Nicholas is now one of the largest food distributors instead of home to 3,000 families. We need to bring families back. It was the wealthy parish, and now it's the poor parish.
I understand your comment, but
Our money's being spent in the wrong places.
well, this goes back a long time.
I know that.
You can't turn around today and fix 30 years of lack of cooperation among a lot of people. I'm not going to get into a big discussion of it, but look, I understand what happens when you lose the parishioners and you don't have the ability to sustain the church. Other public comments? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Mark, did you move it? And who seconded? Kevin, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No. The next item on the agenda is a preliminary determination of project eligibility for the Hard Rock Entertainment Retail District project. Lisa, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority granting preliminary determination of project eligibility to an authority-sponsored entertainment retail district project for the proposed Hard Rock Atlantic City Casino and Hotel.
Chairman, I'll be recusing myself.
Yes, I was going to ask if anybody else. The 2001 Urban Revitalization Act created the authority to designate and administer entertainment retail district incentive programs for remote development in the city. Of the 11 so-called ERD districts, permitted by the Act, 5 are currently active in the city. Unfortunately, the 6th, which was Revel, and it was a $5 million a year asset to this authority, went bankrupt. By letter dated June 19th, Hard Rock has requested the authority to consider sponsorship of an ERD project to support the redevelopment of the former Taj Mahal. The authority has the discretion to sponsor an ERD if certain statutory requirements are met, and therefore, first is construction commences within 2 years of approval. The second is the project is economically sound and will benefit the city. Third is all grants from the ERD project and room funds are payable to the authority, and the proposed ERD otherwise satisfies the authority's mission and mandate. ERD benefits to us include, or to the developer, front-end rebate of all sales taxes paid by the project owner on construction materials up to a maximum of total certified project cost. The important thing from the CRDA is back-end rebate of all sales taxes paid from the ERD up to $5 million a year for 20 years, up to the maximum of the total certified project costs. And back-end rebate of room taxes paid in the ERD area equal to the difference between the room taxes paid in the year prior to the authority's approval of the ERD and the current year's room taxes, but only to the extent that the ERD area generates luxury taxes for a period of 20 years up to a maximum of the total certified project costs. The authority has the discretion to share a portion of the ERD benefits with an eligible project owner, and following the approval of this preliminary hearing, the public hearing will be held, and the staff will further examine the Hard Rock request and bring the matter back to the AEC Development Committee for review of potential terms and conditions of a project approval. This is an exciting project. It certainly brings some relief to the city, and I think will add a great deal. Mr. Gingoli, who is here, Joe, if you'd like to spend a moment. I think you're Vice President for Construction from Hard Rock. Joe, you're here too?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you take a couple of minutes and go over to the board, not to the level you did in committee, but to the level that people can understand what is going on here.
Sure. Thank you very much. Members of the board, the press, and the residences, thank you so much for allowing us to present to you. And we're here seeking CRDA Entertainment Retail District. So I'm just going to walk you through that a little bit. On behalf of Jim Allen, our chairman, Joe, and Jack Morris, again, thank you for allowing us to be here. And from this day forward, it's not the Taj Mahal anymore, it's Hard Rock Atlantic City. So we'll move forward.
I realize that, but for the purposes of the resolution, I had to identify the appropriate property.
Thank you. So this is really just indicating, this is where the Hard Rock Atlantic City will occur, Pacific Avenue and the boardwalk. And this is the demise and the district that we're trying to create, which will include all the amenities of the new Hard Rock Atlantic City. This site plan here, again, defines a little bit more detail the boundaries. The center area here is the Best of Life building. Technically, it's within the district, but we just identified it outside of it. Also, I want to make reference that our property and ownership, and then the district that we're suggesting, will come right along the boardwalk. Technically, the boardwalk and the steel pier is not part of the district right now. In this plan here, this is an aerial shot just looking from Pacific Avenue. You can see in the red dotted line that this is the section of the district. This is the Best of Life building. These are the existing parking structures, the existing hotel, and the latest hotel, which was the Chairman's Tower. And then the podium section. Excuse me?
Not mine. I have to have a little humor.
For sure. So, again, this is a shot from the boardwalk looking at the district. You can see where it comes across. This is the steel pier. This is the boardwalk here. So just to give you a little bit of update about our project, we are here, moving forward. Our intent is to renovate the whole entire project. The intent is this to be a true entertainment facility. And our intent is to take amenities such as the existing Edis Arena, which is our Hard Rock Live, and create that into an entertainment facility and bring entertainment here, not only on the weekends, but midweek as well, so we can actually expand the market and also create these amenities that our patrons and people that want to come to the city of Atlantic City, in addition to not just Hard Rock, but also some of the amazing projects that are adjacent to us, such as resort. I think this will come in and benefit not only us, but also other properties, other businesses here in Atlantic City. In addition, we're going to do a full renovation of our hotel rooms. We're going to renovate the cafes. The Hard Rock Cafe is on the corner here. We're going to move it on this area here. It'll be on center, and it'll be the heart of the new Hard Rock Atlantic City. Other restaurants will come on play, and some of those are the traditional ones that we have at our Hard Rock hotels. We're trying to create a vibe here that is going to be unique. We want to bring not only customers, but also we're going to attract about 3,000 jobs here, and we want to create the vibe and creating people. And traditionally, people like to come working for Hard Rock, and those people that like to be there actually enjoy being and interacting with customers, and I think that's the vibe that we're trying to create here. So the porte cochere and all the amenities in the facade that is there today, we have to take that off, and we need to now brand that accordingly to make it a Hard Rock facade, a Hard Rock project. Where the schedule here right now is we are moving rapidly with our schedule. We are submitting to the governmental agencies, and we're trying to start demolition by next month and full construction by August of this year. And in 10 months, our plan is to open up Hard Rock Atlantic City by Memorial Day 2018. I'm here if anyone has any other questions and any other details. I'm happy to give those to you.
Joe, would you like to add anything to that?
I just wanted to really commend our partners with the Hard Rock. They've been working round the clock. Tommy Sykes, all our professionals, Jeffrey Beers. We've been 7 days a week, round the clock. We're ready to go. It's great to be back in Atlantic City, my second home. Really excited. My partner, Jack Morris, and to just really thank the state of New Jersey, the city of Atlantic City, and all the different branches of government that we've interfaced with. You could not have been more helpful and more cooperative, and we feel really good about the investment we made, and we have a big task ahead of us, and we really look forward to working with everyone, and thank you.
Joe, we appreciate the quickness with which you're trying to get this on board, and I think it's very helpful for the city. And we will not be a typical bureaucracy. You present the things that need to be presented and approved, and we approve them. We're not going to stand in the way of anything that is for the benefit of Atlantic City. I think this is terrific. It's a significant boost at a time when Atlantic City seems to be on the upswing, and I think we're all pretty excited about it. Comments or questions from any of the board members of either Joe or Joe? Joe or Joe, right?
Question really for Paul. You know, this is pretty exciting to be able to utilize funds to rehabilitate or develop and further develop the properties. Would these similar investments or opportunities be available to the remaining licenses as they try to continue to reinvest in their properties and make it more appealing to draw customers into the
You mean the ERD concept?
The original provisions under the Urban Revitalization Act required licensees in existence at the time of enactment to trigger the right under the Act by June of 2004. And there was a second benchmark where the same provision would have applied for non-casino properties by June of 2014. The answer to your question, in short, is maybe, only because the ERDs that remain are essentially assets of the authority. So if the authority was presented with a entertainment retail project of particular magnitude that both satisfied the statute and the authority's mission of the Tourism District Act,
it would be something that we would consider. But we'd have to bump up against those other provisions if it was an existing licensee and figure out how to potentially jump those provisions.
One of the provisions, Kevin, is, as I recall, is a 150,000 square foot project. I've had some thoughts about expanding this whole ERD concept, because I think it has the potential to be a real revenue source for this authority. And look, our mission is to look at whatever expansion of revenue that we can find. So I think it's worth another discussion. Other questions, Mayor?
It's not really questions, number of statements. I think it's important to note that this would be just one of 5 ERDs that are currently there, or will be the 5th one, that have been very successful. Obviously, this takes no income from the city, no taxes from the city. It actually adds taxes, adds tax incentives for the CRDA. It's creating 3,000 jobs. Mr. Gindoli is involved in a project now, in the Gateway project, where he committed to providing training for unskilled Atlantic City residents to be able to enter a very successful career. He's lived up to those expectations through the Boys and Girls Club. He's indicated that as they roll out the project, he's going to be doing this with this project as well. Mr. Morris is well known for creating programs to incentivize employees to live where they work. So this is very good for residents and for the city. This is an important project. The ERD has been very successful where they are, and I think that's the Hard Rock name and the program and the potential for increasing the amount of pilots. If they're even marginally successful, that gross gaming revenue will increase to the extent that it'll create more IATs. No longer an interest view, of great interest to the city and to myself.
It is a big interest, but we can't win.
10 years is a short time, Chairman. And so I just want to ask the other members here to be very supportive. This is an important project for us. Besides taking this unused space, this is the kind of a dream project that any mayor would welcome in their city.
Mayor, I thank you for those comments, and Joe, I only add to what he said about the workforce training that you've provided. But I know this isn't a one-shot deal for you. This is something you believe in with passion and has been part of your life, so I appreciate the fact that this is, I'm not going to, you're not a guy that holds this on his shoulder. You just do it, and that's important.
Thank you, Chairman. I really want to acknowledge all the support from the building trades. Organized labor, without them, we could not have done this. They've accepted, worked with us closely, and a majority of our first graduating class is working on the project that we're doing now at Stockton and South Jersey Industries. We will continue that class here, and our partners at Hard Rock have supported our live classroom at the Boys and Girls Club to keep it going in infinitum, and we will be recruiting young people to career jobs from there. So it's thank you. We're really, really excited.
That's a great project. I know there's 4 members of this board from labor who are excited about this project. Other comments from board members?
We're excited about the opportunity we get offered to the residents of Atlantic City.
You got it.
That's for sure.
Other comments from board members? Howard?
As I mentioned, it's worked very successfully with Joe Gindoli at the county level for this project, and totally supported by it.
There are no further comments. Public comments. Mr. Cheatham.
Well, this is one meeting I'm glad that I attended. Okay? I'm glad to meet you 2 gentlemen. I'd like to see you after the meeting and anytime I can. I've been trying to find who I'm supposed to see. Because see, I'm your next door neighbor. I'm that little property in the middle there. Seems like it's lost being there. And I'm hoping very, very much that we can get along swell. I'm serious about it. I don't want no job. I don't want no job. I just want to live comfortable and be able to get along. Now, I got some things to say to you. Private. They don't want none of you guys to get involved. But anyhow, this is what we need in our city. Definitely what we will see. I'm anxious to see what the construction's gonna look like. I'll be looking over the balcony, watching it every day, with my seat, sitting back there watching, piece by piece going. So I'm glad to see you young men, and I will be meeting with you on some personal things soon.
Sure, we're happy to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Other comments from the public?
I support the project.
Yes, sir. Other comments from the public? Seeing none, close the public portion.
Motion to adopt.
Mr. Hills moved.
Second.
And Mr. Shaughnessy is seconding the motion to approve preliminary determination of the project eligibility. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. So done. Thank you very much, Joe and Joe.
Thank you.
And let's keep working 24 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
Now we come to the portion of the meeting for public comment. Is there any member of the public who wishes to comment to the board? Yes, sir.
Another Joe?
Yes, Joe.
Joseph Pullo, Atlantic City. I need to know a fact first before I say something. Did the mayor recuse himself on an item about Atlantic City?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you tell me why the mayor of Atlantic City would recuse himself on an Atlantic City project?
Because it's cash coming in, it's required by law. Since they're giving us cash to do city work that we can't afford, the mayor's not permitted to vote.
Is that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
We had the lawyers look at, that's why there were a lot of recusals today. I had a note on each item here to ask for a recusal.
Thank you.
But we look at that very carefully. Other comments, Mr. Pacino?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I like very much what I heard today. I'm glad to see these things happen while I'm still here. I say that all the time. I'm serious about it, gentlemen. I'm a very serious person, and I'm too serious, really, because I love my town. And I know it can be great again. There's no reason why we can't be great. So we all work together, period. I don't have to love you all, but we sure can work together to make our town great. The mayor knows that I feel that way a lot. And I mean what I say, so don't ask me anything, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to hear what I have to say. Because I might say things you don't want to hear. Thank you.
One thing we know, Mr. Cheatham, in the 11 years, or the 8 years I've been here, you speak from the heart. You're not afraid to criticize us, and you're not afraid to praise us. And for that, I think that's every citizen's right. But it also, I wish there were more citizens like you who felt with the compassion and the desire that you have for this city to be great again. You're a testimony to the city. Other comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So ordered. We will have an executive session to discuss the contract negotiations. I do not expect that we will come out of executive session with any actions that would be taken. So I would accept a motion to close the public meeting, the public portion of the meeting, and then a motion to open executive.
So moved.
Moved and second, all those in favor of closing the public meeting now, accept the motion to open executive session.
Aye.
All those in favor say aye, so ordered.